In this video, we will have a look at the Option.filter function. And this function is useful when you have a lot of option values and you want to filter those based on some criteria. This is going to be a two-part series, and first we're just going to show how the Option.filter function itself can be used to take values that have a sum value and then turn some of those into non-values. That's how this function works. And then we're going to see how to link that with array functionality as well to do sort of higher level filtering. So let's begin, and we're going to start with defining an array, and we're going to call this R, like so, and we will give this array a number of options. So sum1 is going to be the first element, sum5 is going to be the second one, then we're going to give this a non-value like that to make it more interesting, and sum11 like this. So we have a bunch of integer options in this array, and once we have this one, we now want to filter the values based on the size of them. So let's say we only want to keep values that are larger than 3, let's say. The way I would do this is I would define a new array, so let's call it array with option filter. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the original array, and with this one, we're going to send it to array.map to begin with. Like so. Sorry, map should not be capitalized. There we go. And in this, we're going to define a function that takes an int option, because if we look at the array, that each element here is an option or an integer option. And with this int option, what we're going to do is we're going to take it like that and send it to option.filter. So option.filter. Now, what option.filter does is it takes a function, and then my int. So the value that we send in here is an integer option, and this option filter uses a function of the wrapped argument. So in this case, since we have an integer option, this right here is going to be an integer, so I'm going to call it my int. And what it will do is define some criteria for when we say this integer is passing my criteria. So in this case, I'm going to say my integer needs to be bigger than 3, like that. If that's not the case, then what the filter is going to do is it's going to exclude this particular item. It's not going to exclude it in the sense that it's not included in the array anymore, but it's going to replace it with null. And we're going to see that now. So I'm going to print here the array becomes, and let me then just put the array in here as well, and then we're going to have array with option filter like that. If I save this and run it, we're going to see what this results in. So we start off with this array, sum1, sum5, none, sum11. Now, the first element here, 1, is, as we can see, smaller than 3. So that one should be caught by the filter that I've defined here, because we look at each integer one at a time and compare them to, oh, sorry about that. Let me do use the proper print function. There we go. It's going to look at each value in this array one at a time and compare them to this filter criteria. Now, since we require that the integer should be larger than 3, I would expect the first element here to be replaced by a non-value like we had up here, and for these two to pass through the function. So if we just let this finish, we can see none, none, and then 5 and 11. So that's how you filter out parts of an array or just a single option value as well. With the option.filter function. Now, in the next video, we're going to check out how to put this together with some array functionality to actually exclude these values altogether from the array. So check that one out, and thanks for watching this one.